Hi everyone, and welcome to the sprint review for TimePro Sprint 325 and the forecast for 326. Let's jump in. So, first off the bat, we had one sprint goal for this sprint, and that was the upgrade from 14 to 17. Um, a lot of progress was made on this, and I attempted to do it in one PR, and it was going all right, apart from two issues. I had a bit of time off this week due to illness, and also we had a critical bug hit that we had to address. So progress was made, however, we didn't get it through this sprint, and that will carry on to next sprint, which I'll talk about more. So the sprint in review is 325 here. With us, we have Mike, our PO, and a number of other members, which increases the size from the last few weeks. It's quite nice. We have Tom joining the team again this week, which is great. JK, who did a bit of work with us this week, which was great. And we have Adam, of course, and Jack. So let's kick on. So yeah, a bit more color here. We had JK help me out with that critical bug. So there's a few hours logged with that, and Tom has begun work on the team again this week. So few hours to that, and it's great to have another team member working on TimePro. So there was just the four PBIs, as you can see, Angular 15 to 17, which are not complete, but as you'll see, there's reduced effort in the forecast for those items because a lot of progress was made. Also, we have our critical bug here, which is the error when creating creditor note in TimePro. There's not too much to see in terms of demonstrating this is fixed. It was a very peculiar edge case that we actually suspect has been around for a while, but when fixing it, we uncovered one or two other things that we improved on the way. So it was a fun one to dive into, and the upside to working on that with JK is I've got a much better understanding myself of how the zero integration works. So it was a fun one and a bit of a doozy, and it's in production now and it's been tested and approved by Jimmy, our accountant, who was also the one who picked it up. So we'll go through the analytics for the sprint now. So we've got suggested and automatic timesheet usage. This is very stable, not too much change. As we've seen from the past few months. The burn down chart doesn't look too pretty, but once again, this is because I'm the only developer and it's a very blocky kind of thing. It's rather all or nothing. But we suspect that will look a bit better next sprint as we work on a lot more cards with two developers. So for anyone who wants to look at these analytics, I'll just pause at these. If you're watching the summary on YouTube, you can pause and check them out, but there's not too much to speak of here. It's all expected. More analytics here. No real change in the failed requests.
Did you spend any time on the pink just above?
We, in a way, because the critical bug was logged in application insights, but it was minimal. There was about I think there was four requests that failed that way. So just a drop in the ocean in terms of the overall failed requests, but they were fixed, so that's good. But no dedicated time in reducing failed requests. JK did mention the other week that he did quite a bit of work on rewards, on reducing false negatives in terms of failed requests, and definitely going to have a conversation with him in the coming weeks to see if we can't do that for TimePro as well, to get rid of a lot of these failed requests, which are there every week, you know.
If you just spend some time every single sprint with JK, even if it's just 2 hours, trying to knock off one or two of those, that'd be great.
Yeah, cool. That'd be great as well, because we'd love to see this be more helpful or just be flat on zero, wouldn't we? Okay. Scrolling down, so the state of the epics hasn't changed. As I mentioned, the only PBI that was complete this week was a bug, so didn't contribute to the epics. However, progress was made on the Angular upgrade, just not in terms of points. In terms of R&D, no experimental work was done. Me, the only team member, did use a few tools here though. ChatGPT as always, Yak shaved a few times, and I used Copilot, this time using Claude Sonnet 4.0, which was suggested by Callum last sprint review. And I didn't notice any great change in it, but I'm sure it was a little bit more effective in a way. I'm doing pretty straightforward tasks with it in the Angular upgrade, so it's yeah, it's not too complex. Yak shaver use was good, 75% ratio, only 8 PBRs created, but overall, yeah. So we get to the retro now. Overall, I think it was a pretty good sprint. Uh, and it was a lot of fun working with JK. And I feel like personally I benefited a lot from the collaboration there. So that's my first point here. He was able to slot back into the team and hit a high priority bug with me. Also, we've got Tom returning this week, which is great. Even the difference between 2 developers and 1 is massive because we get to, um, share work around and hit multiple things, and there's a bit of redundancy. So on that day where I'm ill, the project progresses at least a bit. So what didn't go too well? I was ill, which is hard to say as didn't go so well, but it was just to point out the fact that because there was only 1 team member, that does have a different effect from when you have a bit of redundancy. So that's that. And I didn't have any improvements, but if anyone would like to suggest anything before I move on to the forecast.
I will just ask, has JK switched from the SSW awards team to TimePro team?
No, he just slotted back in for a higher priority bug.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that's different.
Yeah, it was credit notes bug.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Sam, did you have any time to contact me to get something done?
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
What version of Angular are you going
the
to?
the Kendo issue. Yes, I did have time, and did I use it? No. So
Tomorrow.
what I did, yeah, tomorrow it'll get done.
Okay. And what's Tom been working
on? I think for the last 2 days of this week, I've been working on clients, and I've just committed into TimePro yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I've been doing the China tenants research. Yeah.
All right. And do we get when are you expecting to deploy? Like, you know how you and JK fix a bug, do you deploy that?
Yeah, I skimmed past the deployment image. So we've got 1 deployment, which was that upgrade. Interestingly, here JK was able to show me how in Octopus we could release just the front end. Sorry, just the back end without releasing the front end. So it meant we didn't have to roll back any of the Angular upgrades that were in master at the time, but we haven't committed those upgrades to production, which is good.
And when are we deploying Angular?
That will be addressed in the forecast. So that's what I was hoping to do next sprint. So get 17 on production next sprint would be great.
All right, great. All right, awesome.
So I'll just quickly point to this, which is my working branch of Angular 17 here. I'm going to run yarn audit here, and this shows us our npm vulnerabilities. There's 8 vulnerabilities found, so this is 1 down from version 14 of Angular that we're on. So we're not seeing much of a difference now in the major versions, which I thought was curious. I thought this would just keep coming down as it has in the past few weeks, but I found that that's because Angular 2 template loader is the critical bug here. And I haven't looked at the other ones, but what I did find is the Angular 2 template loader is very, very out of date. So the last time it was released was 8 years ago. So that's going to come out, and I will make sure that I will add that as a step in the upgrade to Angular 17 to get rid of that critical bug, which should mean there will be no critical ones, which is nice. So I thought I'd just demonstrate that as well, and how I've been looking at npm vulnerabilities before jumping onto the forecast. So here we go, Sprint 326 forecast. I will update the attendees post this meeting. So the sprint goal is going to carry across. We still want to upgrade to Angular 17. That's the main aim. And alongside that, because we expect that'll hopefully be done, or that should be done this sprint. we've thought we will take this opportunity with Tom and the team to also bring through a bunch of bugs and squash as many as we can in this sprint. So it'll continue in a sort of maintenance phase of TimePro. But this is leading towards what we hopefully think will be the next sprint should be focused on features, getting back to making progress on the features and the core of the application. Yeah, Mike, if you want to speak to any of this.
Oh, yeah. At the start, the guys, Tom had a bunch of stuff for currency conversion, and Sam was finishing off the Angular, and there's a bunch of bugs, and I felt that we should get you guys working closer together. So both of you guys getting all the housekeeping out of the way so that you can focus on the features together rather than having you both working separately. That's what I thought was a better approach.
Yep, it suits me, and I'll get a chance to hopefully do a bit of pair programming as well with Tom and get up to speed, because also I've only been on the project a few weeks, and yeah, we should be able to share a bit of information. So yeah, so that's the forecast for next week. We'll get as many bugs squashed as we can, alongside getting the Angular upgrade out into the wild. Cool. So that should do us. For everyone watching, I'll remind that we upload the summaries to our YouTube channel here. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Sam. Awesome. Good.